Hey guys, it's Jason with Kentucky Sustainable Living. I am down in the basement bunker tonight because it was cold in the shop and I didn't feel like starting a wood stove, and was kind of lazy on that. But we've got Kyle, Backwoods Butcher, with us tonight. We're going to talk for a little bit and see where the path winds and leads. We might talk about giraffes. We might talk about penguins. Who knows what we'll talk about, but we will talk about killing animals and eating them. So with no further ado, Kyle, it's good to have you tonight. We've been talking and everything else. Kind of give everybody a backstory on what makes Kyle tick and how you got into being the Backwoods Butcher.
Well, first off, awesome to be here. Second of all, do you have more than an hour? Because it's going to take longer than that on that one.
We got an hour. We got an hour and 3 minutes.
Perfect.
I've got unlimited on StreamYard.
Perfect. Yeah. So my name's Kyle Peralt. I am a owner operator of the Body Shop 603. We're a custom exempt butcher shop in northern New Hampshire. So I do everything from beef, pork, lamb, goats, and then in the fall I do all wild game. So we do black bear, whitetails. We could do moose. We just haven't gotten any in yet. But yeah, so we're just living the dream up here. We got a moderate sized farm at the moment that we're trying to start up, and it's an adventure all the time.
Now you worked before you started your own shop, you worked in a bunch of facilities, didn't you? As far as USDA facilities and stuff like that?
So I worked in one. I worked retail for like the majority of my butchering like experiences. Working either grocery stores or like gourmet, quote unquote, like steak tip shops and stuff like that, knowing that I wanted to do whole animal stuff. So it's like the whole time I was working there, that's how I started into raising livestock. Was like, well, I want experiences in cutting all this stuff up, and no one's going to just give me their animal to do it on. Like that's not the way that works. So I'm like, I need to raise these things myself and learn how to process them myself and grow from there. I can't tell you how many free deer I cut up just like from buddies back home that they're like, hey Kyle, want to cut up my deer? I'm like, yes, I do. I don't have access to whole animals to break down. Like, yeah, I'll do all of that work for free, or like a 30 rack. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, what?
Yeah, so then I ended up working in a USDA facility for about 5 years, starting on the cut floor, essentially just breaking down whole carcasses all day, like for 8 hours a day, 8-9 hours a day. I was in a 41-degree cooler just breaking down whole carcasses, and I was the happiest kid on the planet. Like I was just in my element of just like, this is awesome.
Now, were y'all doing mostly the same thing every day?
Pretty much. Like it was 3 to 3.5 beef, depending on the size. Anywhere from 14 to 17 pigs a week. And then every other week we'd do 25 lambs.
Really?
Like in there as well. So it's like our day-to-day was pretty standardized. But again, different cuts, different beef. Like, because that's the thing. We were one of very few USDA facilities in New Hampshire. So it's all walks of people bring their products there. Like it would be one day we'd have a literal 1,200-pound carcass, like not just like the whole animal, a 1,200-pound animal they'd have to quarter just to fit it into the walk-in. And then right after that, we'd have a grass-fed, like
200-pound
entire jersey that weighed like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like it shifted constantly.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. It was so nice. There are days where I miss just being like the hand of just like, see all these cows? Cut them up. That's it. Now it's like, oh yeah, I'm running a business.
Oh yeah, it kind of takes a little bit out of it. Now,
yeah.
Do you like running your business, or you like doing the USDA better? Which one would you like better?
Oh no, running my own running my own thing 100%. Like I was talking to my wife about that the other day. I'm like, I've completely ruined myself to ever go work for somebody again. Like, I think I might be unhireable at this point.
I got out of college in 2002, went to work for one company for a little while doing soil testing and concrete testing.
Yep.
And then after that, I started my concrete business. And man, I've been ruined since 2002. So, and I've told my wife before, I'm like, nobody would hire me. And she's like, yeah, nobody would hire you. I was like, I'd be a horrible employee.
Right.
So,
well, it's one of those things. I always had a very good fake it till I make it attitude of just like, no, I'm going to put 130% into all of this and pretend I know more than I know, and learn the entire time and get it figured out. So I was just always progressing to the point where it was like, I knew I was going to own my own job at one point. Like, that was it. Like, that's the end. Somewhat like the end, quote unquote, of like, we're going to get there. And now that we have, I know we can be successful. I'm pretty sure we turned a profit this year. We haven't gone through all the tax stuff yet. And I'm awful at business. Like, that's the hard part about it. I'm awful. Like, there's a reason, like, I play with dead animals for a living. Like, that other part is like, right. Oh yeah, we got to get all that paperwork together so the government can take all our money. That's right.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that part.
I'm horrible. I can build stuff and do stuff all day long, but as far as the tax stuff and the bookkeeping stuff, it's miserable. I mean, I literally have everything in like Kroger bags and shoe boxes, and then just go through it, and it's like, okay, here it is. Yeah.
So it's like that part of it. I'm like, I hate that part with a passion.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, whatever. Like, it's part of it, and it has given me freedoms that I've never had before. Like, to be able to do any of this stuff. Like, I couldn't imagine working the shifts I worked at the USDA facility. We were there at 6:30 to 3:30. I now have 2 children and triple the animals we had at the time I was working there. So to be able to even fathom doing any of this YouTube and content stuff, I'm like, it wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And the cool thing about working for yourself is if you kind of want to blow the day off, you can blow the day off and do some other stuff. You can take the kids and do some stuff with them. And that's the amazing part of being your own boss. Right. But also it's a double-edged sword. It's like, well, I really didn't make any money today.
Right.
So,
well, it's like this time of year is we've been talking about stuff here just because like my schedule the next 2 months is empty. I think I have one thing booked for the next 2 months, but it's up here. Everyone's rushing to get all their animals in at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And get them in before winter. And now it's like, all right, everyone's strapped from Christmas. If they have livestock that's worth keeping, they're not going to put it in the freezer. They're going to wait and grow it out over the winter.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like I can't manifest cows. So we've been doing a bunch more advertising and stuff like that. But it's like at the same time, my neighbor has the contract for plowing the town. So I plow all the dead end roads and make a little side money there. And just like being able to hustle around and just be like, yeah, I don't need to get another job. It's like, I just need something until everything picks back up again. Cause it always does. Like that's the thing about like being in a service industry and being one of the only people around that does it. Like I'm busy all the time. This is just the sucky time of year for everyone. And it's like, all right, well, this is always going to be fun.
Oh yeah. Now with contracting, I mean, I do mostly kitchen and bathroom remodels is kind of my mainstay. And if you don't have a job booked and going in and started before Thanksgiving, you don't book. You'll book maybe like a little repaint of some rooms and stuff like that, but you don't book anything or start anything from Thanksgiving until New Year because nobody wants their house torn up then.
No,
But
for the holidays, yeah.
Yeah, if you've already got somebody's house torn up, yeah, you're golden. You can still get in there and work and stuff like that. So it's kind of, I joke, I'm like, yeah, we got to get this thing started before Thanksgiving, so the house is already torn up and we can keep going. But it comes and goes. Right now, I mean, it's wintertime. We're still working outside on jobs and doing stuff. So I mean, it's no big deal. We hadn't really slowed down that much.
Right.
So, hey, what does it take? Explain to people that are watching as far as USDA versus custom exempt, because a lot of people there's all, and I see it on Facebook a lot, and people are always talking, oh, I want to sell these pork chops, and then people are like, well, it's not USDA, you can't do it. Kind of explain the differences between that, and that might clear some stuff up for people. I know the difference on it, and
Right.
it's really gets into a gray area.
Oh, it gets super messy, and it's all dumb. Like, I look at it sometimes, I'm just like, shake my head. I'm just like, it's insane that we're doing this. Like, it's just a facade. But
yeah,
so essentially, I'm a custom exempt, so I can only process personal use livestock. So, like, if somebody brings in a cow, that cow is for their family. But also there's situations where an individual can purchase the live cow and then have it delivered. Like, I'm not going to completely like poke holes into all of it, but it's when you go through a USDA facility, essentially it's just more mess. Like, it's just more bureaucratic stuff of the animal has to come in alive. I understand it. I do understand it. The animal has to come in alive and walking, gets put into a holding chute, dispatched, and then essentially what happens is you go through the entire slaughter process without any oversight whatsoever. And then an inspector comes in and this is my smaller slaughterhouse I worked at. At some of the massive facilities, like, there's 20 inspectors on staff constantly. We had one guy, and he would come in for 5 minutes. He would open the cheeks, make sure there weren't any disease in there, check the organs for parasites, check the carcass to make sure it's good and there's no dirt or hair getting on it before it goes into the cooler. And then that's it, pretty much. There's some paperwork that goes along with it. And what you get from going into that system is now you can sell your animal in different cuts because it has the stamp saying the United States government says this meat's safe to eat. So you can go to a farmer's market and just sell a package of pork chops because it's USDA. You can't do that with any of my product or like anything I process. Everything on the cut sheets is marked not for sale. Every single package is marked not for sale. Like, that is it. And I have essentially I've gotten very good at explaining the law in a certain way. And with the end of it, I usually just go, at the end of the day, you take this and I never see it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
So,
you don't know what they do with it.
I don't know what they do with it. Like, what is really big that's going on right now, Joel Salatin and Thomas Massey, like in Congress, is trying to pass through that Prime Act. Have you seen that? Yeah.
And Thomas Massey's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
you should get him on the podcast. You should try and get him on.
I might. I might be able to swing that. I've got a couple people that might know him. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. Explain to people what it is and some of the details on it. So, I've not delved super deep into it.
I've dove fairly deep into it. I'm trying to remember all the context now. So essentially, there's a bill going through Congress that would basically make it that custom exempt people could sell their animals just as pieces, as chops, cuts, steaks, going through a custom exempt slaughter facility. Like, as long as certain guidelines are followed to like the very limit of it, of just like, essentially what they're trying to do is make the entire process less complicated and make it so that all of these big businesses that are taking all of the slot, like, it is so difficult to explain to people who have never done anything like this before how expensive it is to really go through raising and processing a whole animal. Like, and usually the slaughter of it and the processing ends up being the most expensive part, at least upfront cost.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not cheap on my pricing because I do everything solo. I've been at this for 13 years. Like, I'm going to get paid for the work I'm doing, but I'm also giving you good products in return.
Yeah.
I'm getting stumped because I watched a video on it the other day and I was like, that's awesome. I need to remember all of this. And I'm remembering like a quarter of it. Essentially, it frees up everything so that people can actually affordably get their animals processed and sell them by the piece. It makes it cheaper in the long run for it makes it cheaper in the long run for the consumer, but it means the producer can make more money. Like, it's weird how it works because everyone now is so used to going in and buying a package of burger or a package of steaks. When you start, which is great, the fact that more people are looking into buying whole animals is absolutely amazing, and I love it. But the sticker shock on it is like, ooh. But again, it's an upfront cost. When you look at the entire animal, you're getting it for way cheaper. Like, for what it is. But a full upfront cost of, I mean, I just put my pigs in the cooler, and it's like $1,000 for the pig, and then a little more than that with everything else that goes on to it, the processing side. And it's like an upfront cost of that. It shocks people. It's like, I'm just getting one pig, and then they see how much they get, which is a decent amount. But then you think of $1,000 and you look at what you're getting, and it's like, huh? It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. You don't have to go to a grocery store for a year.
Yeah.
But that still scares people. Like, it still does. If they can go to a farm stand that sells the farm-raised ribeyes that were right there, you can see the cows they came from, but all they have to do is buy one package. It's like, oh, okay, I can do that more often. I can actually come here all the time and do this.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's in the end, you're gonna they'll end up paying more because they're buying piecemeal, but also it is what, I don't know. So this bill is huge, and if it goes through, it will completely change my business tenfold.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I mean, your custom exempt shops, you're not going to do. You're going to process the animal the same way at your shop as it, and if you were working at a USDA facility. It's not like you're getting anything different. It's just how much would it cost you to have a USDA inspector? It's astronomical to have.
Oh, I mean, just to get to the point to even have the USDA look at you to get an inspector, I would have to completely rebuild my entire shop.
Yeah.
Like, so that alone, you're looking at $200,000 to $300,000 for everything that needs to go into it. And then to have an inspector there, don't quote me on these numbers, but from what I remember someone telling me, it's like $80 an hour just to have an inspector there. And if you go overtime, it's $130 just to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a very specific example, but I'm like, he's in a dark room listening to bird noises until someone knocks on the window to have him go look at a cow. $80 an hour? And it's like, he's not getting that, but to have him there, $80 an hour.
Terry's got a question. She said she joined late. Is this a Kentucky bill or a government bill? This is a federal
bill.
Yeah.
Like, this is for everything. But then it's like you have places like Maine has essentially dropped all of their cottage industry laws. So You can be a person who has never seen a pig in their life. You could raise a pig. You could never have held a knife in your life, cut up that pig, and you could sell pork chops to people. Just, here you go. Because they've just dropped everything. And that gets real sad when Maine is literally 500 yards that way.
Yeah.
From me. And I'm just like, why? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's crazy as a small business owner and stuff. You're not going to. Now there are some small business owners and stuff like that that will try to scam the people, and they're not going to put out quality product and stuff like that. And those people will learn eventually. I'm not going to do business with them. Right. But I can see it as a small producer like you. If you could sell individual cuts and stuff like that, I mean, that just blows the door open for a lot of stuff that you can do right there.
It's huge. I mean, I've had some like old school farmers like chat with me and like trying to do stuff or talking about how I'm raising my animals and stuff like that. And we have the shop and everything. And I've had a couple like old bucks look at me and go, "You found the gray area." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm a butcher first in every aspect of everything that's happening. I'm a butcher first."
Yeah.
So I'm learning all the farming aspect now. So I have a good thought on how I want everything to go, and we'll see how it goes. But if a bill like that passed, it would be life-changing for us up here for sure.
Oh yeah. And I'm of the whole opinion of let capitalism do its thing, let the free market do its thing, and the government can stay out of the way.
Yeah.
So, because
again, I worked at this facility for so long, or I worked there for about 5 years. I saw them pass animals that I would have said no to.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen them pass animals that the owner did say no to. Like, we had a farm, I won't name names. We had a farm that they would go to the auction, buy the old retired dairies, put them out on pasture, which, if you know anything about retired dairy cows, not all, especially up here in New England, like not all of them really know how to graze because they've been in confinement, a lot of it, and just been milked.
Yeah.
So they toss them out on pasture for 8 months and then bring them in and market as grass fed. Because that's the other little like fun secret about all the USDA stuff. It's like to be like certified organic or certified grass fed, it only has to be fed for like the past 90 days or something, or it's like a third of its life. It's some very short amount of time that it's like they only have to be only on grass for a third of their life, like the end, and they are considered a grass-fed cow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you'd see these things come in, and it's like they didn't have a fat cap; they had a rind cap because their body was just like eating itself, and the muscle is just like.
Chase, no, Chase, I didn't get a couch in the shop. I'm in the basement bunker because at the beginning we were running behind. I didn't want to get the shop warm and get the office warm, so we're in the basement bunker, like 80 feet underground. And these are fake windows behind us just to make it feel like you're in a real house. So, and Mike Shepard showed up. Hey, Mike.
Nice. Yeah, I need to do more research on it. Blakesley Akers down here in the chat. That's Joe Blakesley. He's going to be our new co-host on Meet the Critters on our show. And we were talking about doing a full episode just talking about that. He just opened his own custom exempt shop up in New York.
That would be cool to see for y'all to take a deep dive in that. So, yeah. But I mean, now you can still sell quarters and halves and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Again, I just put 4 pigs through the freezer. All my customers paid a deposit on those pigs while they were alive. They technically own that pig because they paid a deposit. Their names are on the cut sheets. Yeah. Like, there's ways around all of it. Like, the laws are written very loose, and but it also varies state to state. Like
just like the milk shares.
Yeah, exactly. So like up here in New Hampshire, it's fairly relaxed just because it's like we have a large agricultural like industry, but it's not big enough to like really make any noise. But the hard part about that is it's large enough that we don't have the infrastructure built to handle it.
Yeah.
Like, I think we only have 2 USDA facilities left in the state, and I think there's like 4 or 5 custom, like me included.
Well, hey, Terry wants to know if you got the bill number. Do you know it by chance?
I don't know the bill number.
What's the name of it again? You should be able to find it by the name.
Yeah, it's the Prime Act, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Prime Act, Terry.
If you look on YouTube, yeah, Joel Salatin just did a really good video on it. Like, he just did a whole thing breaking it down because he's like one of the main people on it, like trying to work it through.
We'll have to, yeah, I'm going to research that. I'll see. I don't know. I might be able to get Thomas Massey to come on. Who knows? So
yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. Even though I'm not a politician fan whatsoever.
No, but he's pretty cool. I've listened to a lot of interviews with him, and he's more with it. Like, he's down to earth with it, of just like, yeah, this is dumb. Like, this is stupid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and like the USDA facilities, I know right around here, there's not a ton of USDA facilities in Bowling Green, even as big as Bowling Green is. I was just talking to one of my friends at basketball practice. They had some pigs done, and they wanted to sell individual cuts. So they had to go all the way to Muhlenberg County, which is 2 to 3 counties over, to get a USDA processor to where they could sell individual stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an hour with them loading the trailer and everything. It's over an hour ride one way that you're doing that. I mean, that just adds, you've really got to factor in your travel costs too.
Oh, of course. Then you have to factor it into the price of what you're doing. Cause it's like, I have to drive an hour to get it there to be processed. So,
I mean, for them to drive there, I mean, that's 2 hour round trip and then come back another 2 hours. That's 4 hours doing it. 2 of it was with the trailer. And I mean, with the cost of fuel, that really adds up there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's just I get frustrated with it sometimes because I just look at it all and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
Chuck's here.
What's going on, Chuck?
So, but yeah, I would be all for that. I would like to see it. I mean, it's not going to affect me a whole lot because pretty much everything we're doing here is all our stuff that we've raised for use. I mean, we don't ever sell anything. I've never sold any shares or anything like that. But I tell you, I've got people all the time ask me, it's like, will you sell me half a pig? And I'm just like, yeah, maybe. But I mean, the scale we're doing, we've scaled it to have it just for what we need and a little bit extra. So I don't really want to get into that whole selling. I mean, we'll sell lambs and stuff like that, but we sell live lambs, and I just don't really want to mess with it, honestly.
Well, it's like when we started, when I went full time, it was in the middle of COVID. Like, we were trying to figure out what the hell we were doing, and my wife was finally just like, just run the shop. Like, we already had the shop built. I was still working full time, doing like a cow here and there, or like a pig here and there. She's like, can you wrangle up enough customers to make it worth it? I'm like, yeah, I think I can. Like, I really think I can. And I was like, if we're going to do this, though, we're also doing the farm at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, because the only way to guarantee meat in the freezer or like meat in the walk-in sometimes is putting up, like, raising animals to put into the cooler. Like, thank God I have the pigs in there right now, or the pigs that are getting picked up like this weekend, because like I said, I don't have anything booked for the next, like, at least 4 weeks. So there's that buffer there, and it's like, yeah, if we didn't raise our own animals to put through the shop, I wouldn't, like, we'd be in a hard time right now.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, like when COVID was hitting and everything, these processors were booked like a year. They were making appointments a year and a half out.
2 years. Our shop was 2 years out.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I used to laugh because my wife's a nurse, so she was a essential worker. She needed to be there. Yeah, they bumped meat processors up to critical workers. Like they're like, these places cannot shut down right now because too many of them already have, because they were these massive facilities where they're putting 5,000 head a day through, and they've got 1,000 people working there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden COVID hits and you can't be around people. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I used to come home and she'd be like, oh my God, it's so crazy. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty tough being a critical worker too. I get it. Like, because we never shut down. Like my bosses were like, they pulled us all in one day because it was when it was starting to get like really serious, like not actually serious, but they were making it really serious. And they pulled us all in and they're like, listen, so USDA is kind of pushing us on like the mask mandates and vaccine mandates and stuff like that. And we've decided that either we're not doing it or we'll go custom exempt and we'll just tell the government to get out. Like we're not USDA anymore. Like that's where their heads were at. They're like, fine, we just won't deal with you anymore.
Yeah.
So I got lucky there.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I didn't shut down. I shut down for maybe about a week, but I did stuff. I had stuff lined out and we did stuff in the shop. I mean, for that week, I had a lady that she wanted a California closet kind of thing, you know, with all the cabinets and everything in there. So I was like, let's see what this thing does and see if it's something that's real. I built her whole closet system in my shop and painted it. And then after that week, we were like, hey, we really don't think this thing's for real. I'm going to be up at your house tomorrow to install your closet. And she's like, that's cool. I don't think it's going to be anything either. And then after that, we kept on trucking and went on with it.
Right.
So, yeah, hopefully that bill will pass.
I hope so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we already have the second garage that we want to turn into a farm stand if it does.
That would be cool. I still want to build a walk-in cooler, but I just hate to pull the trigger on it right now.
You're not going to regret it. You're not. I've told you this a dozen times already.
I know.
You're not going to regret it.
I know.
You're going to find reasons to use it. Like,
I hate to give up that shop area is the only thing.
What's in that shop area that's so important?
That's where I store all my lumber right now.
You could store it on top.
I know. So.
Okay. Next reason.
Well, it's either I'm going to build a walk-in or I'm going to build a bunkhouse. So.
Walk-in.
Yeah, but that's coming from a butcher. I knew you were going to say that. But now, that's
not coming just from a butcher. That's coming from a farmer as well. Even if I wasn't a butcher and I was a farmer, I'd be like, yeah, it's still important. What happens if a beef goes down and you can't get it into a processor anytime soon?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's August and you're like, am I going to lose this whole animal? No, I'm going to break it down, toss it in the walk-in real quick.
Well,
people can sleep in tents. Like, Jason, tents have been around for a long time.
I know. But now what we did, the last beef we did, it was going to be a little bit warmer. We don't have a walk-in. I've got like a 47 or 48 cubic foot commercial refrigerator that we use. I knew it was going to be a little bit warmer, and I was like, I want to get this beef chilled. I had a 4x8 pallet, and I took and stuck a sheet of OSB on the bottom of it, and then built like 2-foot sides for it.
Yeah.
And once we got the beef broke down, we stuck a tarp in there and threw about 200 pounds of ice on it.
Right.
And man, that thing worked amazing for us to get it cut up small enough to fit it in to that commercial refrigerator. And I was like, that's not too bad. So, but the bunkhouse is going to be cool. It's going to have, it's going to be my studio where we do videos and stuff like that. And then it's going to have a bunk section in it because I've already got a bathroom down there and everything. So it's going to have bunk beds in it and a wood stove to where y'all come down, like Chuck and Chase. When they come down, they can just stay down there. Don't have to get a hotel room, and they can hang out down there. So.
All right.
So I don't know.
Meat in that bunkhouse?
If we get it cold enough, we can. I mean, we could put a rail system up across it. I guess you could unplug plug and unplug the cold bot or whatever it is when you needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck could probably try to stitch the beef up if he was sleeping down there. So,
I can still save it. Chuck, it's in quarters.
Stitching it back up through there. So now we're getting off track.
Yeah, no, here it comes.
We might as well just let it go.
Oh my God.
Let's see. When you're not using your walk-in cooler, throw some bunk. Hey, we can throw bunk beds in the walk-in cooler.
Hey, see, that's my co-host right there. Everybody pay attention. He's a great man. He's intelligent. You see? All right, hold on. Hear me out. Build the walk-in bigger than you thought it was going to and go with his idea. That way you can fit 2 cots in it comfortably and have room to move around, and then just pull the cots out like he says and just plug your cool bot in.
Yeah. And then realistically, you could put a heater in there if you needed to warm it up.
Of course.
Sleep in, because it's going to be super insulated.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now we did talk about it one day about building one to where I could pick it up with my Bobcat and move it around.
I like that idea so much better.
I'm still thinking about doing that. How big a one would I need to hang a beef? 8 by 8?
How big do you usually grow your beef out?
The last one we did live weight was a little under 900 pounds.
All right, so it dressed to 6-ish.
Yeah.
Like literally you would need, I would say 6 by 6.
All right.
With 2 rails.
That's doable.
Quarter beef, maybe 7. Do it 7 by 7 just so you can move around in there.
Yeah.
And put it on make it so you can put pallet forks in it and just be able to toss it around. I think that's for you. Like you have the Bobcat there and everything. Like it's way easier to just do that. That way it's not in your way.
Yeah. See, that's what Brian said. Put it on a skid and then take it where you want it.
Yeah.
And then realistically, you could take it and load it on your trailer, and then
bring it to, I don't know, maybe your festivals.
Yeah. Or I could take it to Shelly's house.
Yeah.
So, but have you seen those trailers that they rent out?
Oh yeah.
So one of those would be sweet.
I've thought about doing that. Like I've thought about just buying like an enclosed trailer.
Yeah.
And just decking it out. Like
you should have bought an enclosed trailer before COVID.
Yeah, no, it's not happening now. Now I'm going backwards. Like I'm setting everything up here to where 90% of my customers come here. I don't do mobile as much as I used to.
Yeah, I was going to say Jason on Sow the Land did one. Have you seen his little enclosed trailer?
Maybe.
He's got, it looks like a little 5 by 8.
Yeah.
And he did it. He puts a whole beef in there.
Yeah. So once you break a beef into quarters, like it's heavy, but it really doesn't take up that much room.
Yep. And then, I mean, well, shoot, the enclosed trailers. I've got a 7 by 14 enclosed trailer that I bought before everything went stupid. I paid $4,000 cash for that trailer, brand new. I looked like 2 or 3 months ago. That thing's over $8,000.
It's crazy. It's so insane.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So, that might be my next project. Portable walk-in cooler.
Might as well.
So,
you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn it into your cold room. And look, Eric showed up.
Oh, wow.
We hadn't even said California yet, and he shows up. But now you touched on the festival. You're coming to the festival in March. We got
I am coming to the festival.
Yeah. The next festival, our next homesteading and preparedness festival is March 23rd and 24th in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The website's KentuckySustainableLiving.com. Kyle's going to be there. We're going to be breaking down a lamb on that. So let's see.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Blakesley said he's got a small trailer set up for a cooler.
Yeah, ask him what it is now.
What is it now? Is it his house? Huh?
Chicken coop.
Chicken coop. But yeah, so you're gonna break down a lamb for us, and
We sure are.
do that. I'm excited to do that. We've got three lambs that will be ready. I've got 2 of them are ready now that we're going to do sometime. So,
Yep. No, that'll be a good time.
But yeah, I mean that'll be fun. And then we might wind up getting you to show people how to sharpen knives too.
Oh, of course.
So
I'll do whatever you guys need me to do for sure. Like you got me in Kentucky, so you got me out in New Hampshire. Yeah. I'm yours for the weekend, I guess.
And there probably won't be any snow either. Y'all still have snow in March, won't you?
Thank God. No, yeah, we'll definitely have snow in March. We'll have snow in April.
Forget that. Now we've got every now and then we'll have some freak snowstorms and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. I mean, it's been cold here today. I think the high, we got up to 46 today or something, but it was cold this morning. It was like 20.
Yeah, I think we're getting like a foot on Sunday. It's gone from an inch to a foot. Now, last time I looked, it was 9 inches, but I think more than likely we'll end up with a foot of snow on Sunday.
I mean, if we got a stinking foot of snow in Bowling Green, I mean, we would be shut down for months.
Oh yeah, no, we'll be
But the cool thing about getting snow in Bowling Green is we'll get snow, and the longest I've ever seen snow stick around is like a week.
Right.
So, and no kidding, it's like we'll get snow in the morning or overnight, and then by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, most of it's gone.
Right.
And I'm like, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
So,
no. Our ground isn't even freaking frozen yet. Like,
really,
we've been weird. We had a warm Christmas. Like it was 56 degrees the day after Christmas. I was slaughtering pigs and was stripping down as I was doing it because I was like, what the hell? And now it's I think it's like 14 degrees out, and I was just outside slamming T-posts into the ground. And I'm like, oh, now it's freezing. Good, fantastic. Like this is I'm so happy that now the ground's frozen.
Oh yeah. Now
everything's just mud. Like the pig areas have been a disaster. Just because of it's been freezing, then 56 degrees, then we'll get 6 inches of snow, then it'll be 56 degrees again, and it all melts, and it's like, awesome. Thank you. I get to have mud season like before winter and after winter now. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Now Kyle, answer this, and I've wondered this: if you're going to butcher when it's warmer, because I mean, you're butchering all the time, year round.
Yeah.
How long? And I mean, I wouldn't try to butcher anything in August, unless it's a chicken.
It sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah. How long do you have from the time you dispatch that animal to get it in the cooler?
I try to get it from bullet to cooler in about an hour, like broken down, because it's the entire time. Like you can't just kind of be lollygagging with it. It has to be, this is what you're doing for the next hour. Shut your phone off. Like, don't talk to anyone. Like, this is what we're doing. I don't film videos when it's 90 degrees out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not dealing with it. It's like, no, like this needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, about an hour for like a beef, hour and a half, maybe. Again, I do everything solo, so it does take me a little bit longer. Yeah. But you're cooking for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like that includes getting the trailers turned around, getting everything offloaded, scun out, gutted, quartered in the cooler.
Yeah. And I've read some stuff on that. I read one university study, and they were talking about particularly beef, and they were saying you wanted to get it in the cooler, and then you had, I forgot how many hours it was to get it chilled all the way down.
Right.
But it seemed like a long time. I want to say it was like 24 hours to get that carcass all the way down cold.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. You think about you think about how big a cow is.
Yeah.
And then I forget what its like body temp is, but it's like close to 100 degrees, like kind of like ours. you're getting a hindquarter that weighs 176 pounds. Like, just that was my last hindquarter I put in. So that number was on the brain. But it's like it weighs 176 pounds and it has to be cold in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it has to get down to 10. That was one of the major investments we did when we went full time. Is I bought a big boy like cooler. Like, I bought a full condenser unit to put my walk in. It was like $10,000, but I can set that from my phone and just be like, make the cooler 35 degrees, and it will hold at 35 degrees, even if it doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees out or 16 degrees outside. Yeah. It will hold that walk-in cooler at 35 degrees. Because that's the other hard part is, again, we're up here. Like, more than likely within the next month, we'll have 2 weeks that it's negative temperatures the entire week.
Yeah.
I don't need my beef frozen.
Yeah.
But it also can't be super warm. Like, it's.
Oh, yeah. Now, does that unit, when it gets so cold, will it actually warm the.
Yes, it has a heater in it.
So it's really essentially like a heat pump then?
Yeah, it's a heat pump.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Because I didn't know if you could just open like cold air intakes or something like that.
That's what I had because I was running a CoolBot forever. Like, that's what I ran when I was doing it like part-time while I was working. And then the very beginning of the shop, I was still running a CoolBot, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, I never slept because all I was doing was thinking of if that AC was going to die. Because I went through 5 air conditioners. Like, I didn't trust it whatsoever. Like, it was awful.
But now for the home,
I'm not going to say CoolBots are bad. I think they're fantastic. I think they're an amazing product. If you're trying to run a commercial, like, custom exempt shop in northern New Hampshire, I don't think it's your best bet. Like, it's not your best investment.
Now, what about for a home processor like me? Would they be?
It'd be amazing. It would be the best decision that you made.
All right.
Like, it would help you out so much.
Because I mean, we're not going to be using it. It's not going to be running 24/7, 365. It's going to be one of those things.
Right.
Hey, we're going to butcher a beef, so we're going to start it up the day before and make sure it's the temp, and then hang that carcass. And once the carcass is hung and done, then we're going to clean it up and shut it down until we do something else. So, and with our pigs, when we do the pigs, we don't hang those. We go ahead and cut them all up. Amy Martin says, "Hey y'all, home butchering is not easy. First time really is a lesson." That is very true.
It humbles people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta blow my nose.
But yeah, I mean, as far as our pigs, we don't let the pigs hang. We go ahead and butcher them up, and they pretty well get in the freezer that afternoon.
Right. So. Yeah, I like to hang pigs for at least a day. But again, I've learned to cold cut. Like Tiffany Baxter, Backyard Butchery on TikTok and Instagram and all that. She does everything hot. Like, she brings her trailer out and cuts up, like, drops your beef, cuts it up that day. It gets put in your freezer that night. And I'm like, God bless you. I hate it. I've had to hot cut a couple times, and I'm like, it's awful. I hate it. But again, I could do it, and I understand how to do it. It's just not fun. Like, when you break down a cold carcass, it's so satisfying because it's just so easy. Like, everything cuts really nice. Like, the fat's chilled, so you're not like jiggling through stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't envy hot cutters.
Oh yeah, very little of what I do is cold cut. I mean, most all of it is all hot and everything. So,
well, most home processing stuff is because most people don't have access to a walk-in cooler. Like,
oh yeah. Well, so what other plans have you got for the year besides coming to the Great Kentucky?
I am just trying to ramp up all of this content stuff. This was if you told me a year ago I'd be doing this, I'd probably be like, probably not. Like, I don't know what you're really talking about. This kind of whole thing has taken me by storm, and it's been fun, and I've been coming up through the ranks quite a bit with it, and we're just going to try and get some of this figured out and just obviously keep everything growing we have here, like going on with the shop and the farm, and just next year is going to be a maintenance year. Just maintain. I'm not building anything, not doing anything bigger, not doing anything smaller, just keep it where it is to try and just level everything out. But yeah, we're just gonna try and keep all this stuff going. It's been an interesting ride already.
Oh yeah, I mean it is interesting once you start doing YouTube, and then the people you meet and the stuff like that, and all the interesting things that go along with it and stuff like that. I mean it's cool. I mean I'm glad I started a YouTube channel just because of the people I've gotten to meet from doing it.
It's been nuts.
So it's crazy. I mean, it's a pain in the butt doing videos sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'm a full-time contractor, and I've done a couple videos like on a job site and stuff, and it just didn't get anything. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I mean, I could do content of me building stuff every day,
right?
But I'm just like, I don't really want to have a Bob the Builder channel personally. So.
Right. Well, that's what's interesting about my stuff, because I will get the random comments like, "You're just trying to get famous, so you don't have to work anymore." And it's like, are you watching the content? Like, it's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to do one in order to do the other. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what you're kind of talking about here.
Oh yeah, and it's like we talked before. Like these people that do these TikTok lives and stuff, like these. Just nasty. Like there's one couple on there. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah,
morbidly obese, and they're in like some crack house, roach infested house.
Oh, and I think that's part of the reason. Like, I'm almost upset that TikTok is my fastest growing platform. Yeah. Like, I get it. I know who I am. And the sick sense of humor I have, and like it all goes into those TikToks, and I like that's the one where I'm like, I'm putting in the work and I'm getting the result, and I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a ton of lives out of the shop lately, and they've been great. I did one. I ground a bunch of sausage today, so I just tossed it on live, tossed the microphone on, and it was like, I'll just chat with you guys while I'm grinding, like packaging sausage. Like, why not?
Yeah, and you're getting something from that. You're getting some kind of value out of that when you're cutting up an animal and stuff like that. Because I've watched your lives. You're not just some big old fat slob.
No, I'm talking from the beginning of the live to the end of the live. Like, there may be times where I'm like a little quiet just because it's like I've been talking for an hour.
Yeah,
like I gotta take a second while I'm doing this. But I am instructing you how to break down a pig every single live, or break down a beef or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it's almost out of spite, because I look at the idiots that are on TikTok and they have 5,000 people watching them, and they're like definitely on crystal meth, and they're just like battle rapping to themselves in front of a Chick-fil-A somewhere. And it's like, I completely understand why there's 5,000 people watching that, because that is a dumpster fire that I want to watch. Like, I get it. I'm watching it. So, but I'm also like, I know that the content I put out is correct. It's educational, and I try to keep it pretty funny. Like, I've kept this. I want to pat myself on the back for how well I've kept this PG-13 for this whole hour. Like, it's been a mental strain. But it's like, I joke, like how we were talking about how I'm unhireable now. I didn't have much of a filter when I was employed. Like, how did I work for myself? My filter's gone. Like, I shoot animals in the face for a living. Like, I just have a dark sense of humor. Like, that's just life at this point. My wife's an ICU nurse, so we are amazing at dinner parties. Like, we're just like, so to go into TikTok, I'm like, oh yeah, I understand this game. Like, I understand what we're trying to do here. I'm walking the community guidelines. I'm hovering over them.
Yep.
And every now and then I'll dip, and they'll kind of be like, "Hey, get back." Like, I get it, but come on.
Well, I've put it. TikTok is like the meth infested trailer park, and Instagram is like the upper middle class neighborhood.
You see, that's what makes sense. I can't do Instagram. Instagram is the toughest hill to climb for me. I just can't. Like, for some reason, I just can't get traction on Instagram, and that makes more sense when you break it down like that. That it's like, hey, you belong down here with the heathens.
You're TikTok material.
You're TikTok material. You stay down here and allude to all of the animal murder that you're talking about, and we're going to take pictures of sunrises and put inspirational quotes behind them, and we're going to stay up here.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's always been one of those things. It's like, there's a comedian that talks about it, and he's like, I don't hate anyone. I don't think anyone should not do whatever they want to do, whatever orientation they are, whether they want to walk around with a wolf, like a stuffed wolf's head on. Do whatever you want. But
Emily showed up.
Hi, what's going on?
You'll get to meet Emily. Emily's the milk girl.
Oh, perfect.
She'll have her cow there, and Emily's bringing a whole petting zoo.
Oh boy.
So she'll have a whole ecosystem at the festival.
Perfect.
So,
but it's like, do whatever you want. Just don't come at me for being like, yeah, that's weird. It's like, it's weird. What you're doing is weird, and it's not the norm, and people are going to be shocked by it or discouraged of like, but guess what? There's also people that are going to find that hysterical. So, TikTok.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, I've done a little bit on Instagram, and really I just did the Instagram just to hold that slot and everything. So, and honestly, I don't look at Instagram. I look at TikTok more than I look at Instagram.
Yeah.
So, and then I go to YouTube to get some education stuff.
Well, it's like now what I've been trying to do is, because I started with long form, like, and when I say long form, like, I hope everyone who's watching goes over and subscribes to my page because I would appreciate it. But it's like all my videos, I think the shortest video I have is 12 minutes, like the longest being 2 hours. Like that, I put up the video from SRF. But it's like, you can't do a somewhat educational beef breakdown video in 15 minutes. You just can't. Like, you're not going to get anything. You're going to get these overproduced, like, I don't understand these videos, and I get caught in them. It's genius. They'll have 500,000 to 1 million views. They're 15 minutes long, and it's like, we're going to do this, that, the other thing. Woo, yeah, woo. And then it's like, here's a piece of meat. Here's a cut shot of a knife. Here's another piece of meat. Sawzall. Yeah, Sawzall. And then here's everything laid out. We did it all. I'm glad you guys know how to do this now. And it's like, you didn't show anyone anything. You showed B-roll footage. And you talked for a couple of minutes. Like,
see, I appreciate and I like long form content. I mean, that's probably my favorite to watch because as I'm working throughout the day, I put my earbuds in. Now, a lot of it, like your long form content, I'm not going to listen to while I'm working because that is something that I want to watch as opposed to somebody, interviews and podcast stuff. That's what I listen to. When I'm working, if it's under 45 minutes, I don't bother with it just because that's 45 minutes. I don't have to touch my phone or touch my earbuds. And dude, I love like 2 hour stuff. If I can hit a 2 hour thing, I'm golden for 2 hours. So,
well, it's like the other big thing I've been trying to do is it's like I've been trying to, like, I fully understand that my videos are 40 minutes long, and that's a commitment. Like 40 minutes is a commitment to something. Yeah. Like you don't just bop out for 40 minutes. Like you're doing something.
Oh yeah.
So and I heavily edit all my stuff. Like I am anal about my editing. Like
I know you edit the crap out of stuff. I don't edit anything.
But
And
it's
Joe,
like now there is algorithms and there is like that mental stuff that you got to try and figure out. So I am putting in jokes. I'm putting in random movie clips to the random jokes I said. I'm just doing stuff, popping up like either text talking about something or whatever, just trying to make sure that it's like, oh, there's still stuff going on. Like, and it keeps people's attention. Like, if you just hold the same shot for 40 minutes, like, it's going to turn people off. Like, you're just going to be like, I'm not going to watch this anymore. Like, yeah, he's doing stuff, but it's like that, whatever that is in the background of the video is bugging me, and I can't see what it is. And it's like, you're just going to zone out of what I'm actually doing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's,
I mean,
I've been working really hard to try and get those figured out. But then I've also been doing like trailers, quote unquote, on TikTok for my videos on YouTube, trying to push people to those.
That'd probably be your best bet, to get people from TikTok to come over and watch the long form. And
no,
Joe,
you cannot process a beef for 15 minutes. I promise you, you can't.
You don't know.
I mean,
Joe.
you can.
Joe could do it. I know Joe.
Oh, Joe can do it?
Joe, come down and we'll film you doing it in 15 minutes.
Teach me. Show me your ways.
Now, the closest as far as editing stuff that I've got is I figured out how to make like thumbnails. And I'm like, I score. I was like, okay. So I made some dumb thumbnails. So
that's the hardest part about it. I always joke that it's like, I hate talking about it with normal people. I hate talking about doing YouTube and content stuff with people that don't do it, because I hate complaining about how much work it is and how much time it takes, because all they hear is it's like, oh, I'm spending so much time on these TikTok videos. It's a pain in the butt. And it's like, you're making TikToks. And it's like, I wish I could explain this to you and have you understand, but you won't. You won't. I'm going to sound like an idiot. Like, it's just not, it's not going to work. It's like trying to argue with someone when they're calling you racist. You just end up sounding racist. Say, like, trying to explain how you're not racist.
Oh, yeah. I swear I'm not.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've had those conversations with people about it where it's like, they look at you like, that doesn't seem like that bad. And I was like, I edited a video for 2 hours last night, and then something went wrong and I couldn't export it. So I had to delete a bunch of pictures, and that took an extra 15 minutes. And then I had to upload, and it's complete first world problems.
Oh yeah.
But
that's why I don't edit anything. I'm just
I know. I get it.
You're gonna get what you get.
I know.
So,
but it's I don't know. It's something else. I love it. I don't know if I'll ever not do it anymore. Like, it's super fun. And I enjoy the feedback. I enjoy the people that message me privately. They're like, I never thought about that. Like, thank you. Like, you changed how I do things now. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, of course. Like, I appreciate you watching. I had a kid recognize me in the grocery store the other day.
Really?
It was crazy. I've got both my girls, and I am like, we went to the grocery store literally because I needed to get out of the house. Like, I had the kids all weekend, and I was like, we need to go somewhere. Yeah. Like, and we're going to the grocery store, and me and like a woman almost collide carts. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And I end up going around her. And as I walk past, I hear the kid. All I hear is Backwoods Butcher. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, as I turned, he kind of did this. And I was like, that didn't happen. So I met up with him like 2 aisles later.
Yeah.
And I almost get to the end of the aisle. They're at the end of the aisle. He goes, you're the Backwoods Butcher, right? And I was like, I am. I appreciate you watching my videos. He's like, I give you a fist bump. I'm like, yeah, man. Gave me a fist bump and just went on grocery shopping. I was like, that's insane. That's my local grocery store. And it's like, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, SRF was an overload.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of people walking up going, hey, I recognize your voice. You're Kyle, right? And I'm like, all right, that's something. Like, that's something I wasn't expecting.
Oh, yeah. And it's happened to me several times here in town, and it's always a little creepy. And I'm just like, okay, all right, whatever. So I don't know. I don't go a lot of places, so it doesn't happen too awful much. But yeah. But we've been coming up on an hour and something like that, and it's getting late. I know you're an hour ahead. It's almost 9. It's after 9 o'clock at your place.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, tell everybody where they can find you. I put all the links for all your social media in the description. It should be in the description of the video. But tell everybody where they can find you and all that, and all your crazy videos on TikTok.
Yep. So I am at Backwoods Butcher 603 on everything. So that is YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We have a Rumble, but I don't think any of my videos have synced yet. That takes for freaking ever. I don't know. TikTok, we've been hitting that one hard. Putting out a bunch of funny clips, bunch of funny videos. Just the darkest thing you can possibly think about with movie clips and dead animals. I don't know. I'm having fun with it. But we're also doing a bunch of TikTok lives. So depending on what day it is, I could just be out in the shop breaking down cows or pigs or whatever and just chatting with you guys, talking about it. YouTube, we're trying to get out one video a week of just something, whether it's farming or butchering related. This week, it's going to be making link sausage. And also on that YouTube channel is every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are bringing my podcast, Meet the Critters, back with Joe Blakesley as my co-host. So we took about a month off, just kind of figuring some stuff out, and Joe's coming on full-time in that co-host spot. So we are going to have some fun with that.
Awesome. Guys, everybody go over and check Kyle out on his YouTube channel and TikTok. You'll like it. I enjoy the lives. I catch the lives when I can. And I'll watch some of the lives. The TikTok lives are good. I enjoy those. So
I try to keep them funny too. Just kind of like just whatever with the people in the comments, because it's also the people in the comments are some of the most entertaining part.
Oh yeah,
the amount of people that have been like, "Where's your beard net?" I'm like, no. I'm like, I've been cutting meat for 13 years. You want to know how many beard hairs I've found in meat? 1. And that's because I accidentally grabbed a pig wrong and it smacked me in the face. Like, that's it. Like, that's the only time I've ever found a beard hair. I'm not wearing it. I didn't wear it.
You need to take a pair of panties. Take a pair of pantyhose one time, just put over your whole face.
Just put it over my entire face so it's just all pushed up.
Be like, there's my beard net.
There's my beard net.
Yeah. And what you need to do is do something to where the other leg of the pantyhose is like standing to the side.
That'd be great. That would be great.
Be like, there's my beard net.
There's my beard net. Everyone happy now? That's been the biggest comment. But then it's like, I haven't gotten any vegans in my chat yet. I'm waiting. I'm due. I'm so due.
Great.
Tiffany gets them all the time. I'm like, really? I'm so due. Please.
So, all right. Well, Kyle, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Guys, I appreciate everybody that was in the chat. Go ahead, show everybody. Go to Kyle's channel, like and subscribe all his stuff. It's good content. If you want to see how to break animals down, he's got some really good videos in it. But Kyle, I appreciate it, and we'll have you back pretty soon. And everybody, don't forget March 23rd and 24th in Bowling Green, Kentucky is our next festival. You can meet Kyle there, and he's going to show you how to break down a lamb from start to finish. That thing will be alive in the morning, and then hopefully in packages with our new Vac Master that we've got. So, but guys, I appreciate it, and we will see y'all next time. Good night.
Have a good one, guys.